Are you ready?
Starting now?
Oh, now you just messed it up, you knob. God, you know that the shit that we go through for this, huh?
I know. Fuckers better appreciate it. When we started, we were just like, yeah, we're just going to do this, man. You know, shoot our wad into the wind and see what happens. What's the title of this podcast again?
I don't know. I don't know. Something with a penis, I guess.
Right.
Our fucking faces are everywhere now.
Right.
You know, but
You're welcome, ladies.
Right. Popular with the ladies. Right. Oh, I'm not even going to apologize because hopefully it sounds fucking hilarious.
Yeah, totally. This is fucking explicit now.
The explicit button. Let me use my finger.
La, 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 la.
It is time for another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And that episode starts now. All right, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. And what the fuck just happened to my voice? Another?
Going through puberty again.
Yeah, again, I think that I did that in one episode too. Episodes ago, many episodes ago. I think I referred to myself as Bobby from the Brady Bunch, and that's kind of what I sounded like again.
It was Peter, but okay.
What's that?
It was Peter, but all right.
Oh, was it? Oh, shit, I thought it was. Okay, yeah. I'm sorry.
Yep.
I apologize. See, there's a reason I keep you around because, you know, so right. I know my Brady Bunch characters.
I'm a treasure trove of useless knowledge.
Right. Well, I think both of us are to an extent. It just depends on what subject we're talking about. But yeah, so kind of exciting day, right? It's well, first of all, I'm in Cleveland. I think that if anyone that follows us on Instagram, sure saw that my typical Cleveland Rocks post when I left this morning, but it's Founders Day weekend, so that's kind of cool.
It is.
We've got actually a lot to talk about. You know, talking a little bit about that, plus some catch-up things from the last couple of weeks. I've got some job information. I got some job information on somebody else. Man, we have a step that we can talk about.
We do. Right? Yeah.
And then we have a reading. What the fuck?
I don't know, man. What will we do if we get sober? We just won't have anything to do. Life will be boring.
It was funny when I so I mean, obviously, again, I'm in Cleveland. I'm at Mike's, and we're literally, you know, I mean, spitting distance away from each other in different rooms. But when, you know, I'm like, we're ready. I'm like, I'll go ahead and send you the link, and I sit down. I got my whole setup here, and I'm like, oh fuck, where's my list? So I went over to my backpack and grabbed my list, and I have my list and my Sober Not Mature pen. By the way, shameless plug. We sell sober not mature pens on our website. Get yours today.
And they're pretty good pens too.
You know what? It's Kimmy so it's my daughter, the company she works for that did the pens for us and also the wristbands. And she's done a couple of things. She did those, and then she also did a table cover because we're planning on doing like farmers markets and things like that with our t-shirts and other merchandise and our coffee stuff, which we kind of getting into play. But you know, she's told me a couple of times, she's like, do you want to get a sample of like the pens? Do you want to get a sample first to make sure they're okay? I'm like, I don't care. They'll be fine. It's a pen. Right. But yeah, they really are. They're nice.
They are. Yeah. Chicken Dan actually hit me up for a couple more last week. He's all, you got any more of those pens? Those are really good.
Well, you know what? You know, I thought about it before I left today. I should have brought some more since we were going to be. We'll probably be seeing people at Founders Day, but I will next time I'm out here or whatever the deal is. And based on my upcoming situation, maybe I will be out here again soon. So who knows?
Right.
So
where are you going to stay?
Hey. You know what? I got other friends. Huh? Yeah. Well, do you want to stay with me? I got a room. But
yeah, I'm a dick. I'm still a dick. You know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I know better though, because you know, all I gotta do is, you know, I think I could stay here anytime I want, but I will ask. I'm not just gonna show up at your doorstep.
Right.
Hello.
I did give you a key, so it pretty much.
Well, yeah, I know, but still, you know me well enough. And well, when I lived at the last place I lived in Wisconsin, I mean, you had
Right.
because you were up there a couple of times, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, God forbid, I'm like, I don't know why I wouldn't be with you, but in
Right.
case some shit goes down,
I
um,
wander off somewhere.
yeah, here's my garage code, and this is where I hide the key in the garage. So, yeah, you had the same access to that. So we haven't
Right.
we haven't stolen from each other yet, as far as I know,
Not
right?
yet. No, no, no. Well, we've
Not-
had that discussion. Yeah, we're going to get loaded first, then we're going to start stealing from each other.
right, right, because we've held each other's money, each other's debit cards. We got full
Mm-hmm.
reign to everything. So,
Pretty
but yeah.
much.
So, where do you want to start? Do we want to do the reading first? Do you want me to tell you about the job things I have talked
Yeah,
about?
let's get the reading done.
I was going to suggest that, but I wanted to leave it up to you in case, I know the beginning of some of these things, you just want to sit back and not fucking do anything. So,
Well, that's what I always want to do. But it's not about me today.
right. And you know what? While you're doing this, I'm sitting here in like regular shorts. I'm going to take my pants off and put on my comfortable shorts too. So, just
Wow.
everyone, we're not. It's a good thing we're not on video. I'm going to put on my comfortable shorts while Mike does his reading. I'm going to take my
All right.
pants off.
Jesus Christ. His pants have hit the floor.
not,
Oh,
not yet. I'm gonna mute so you don't hear anything hit the floor. Hello.
oh man.
All right, do your reading before you get too far off on a tangent.
All right. Well, this is some God Grant Me, as always. It's my favorite one. And this is a reading that, because it is Founders Day weekend, um, for several years, I did Saturday groups at the Keating Center, and we'd go in and we'd do group, and Bill would come in and do it with me because he'd be in town for Founders Day and blah, blah, blah. And this is the one that I would read to the guys on Founders Day, and then we'd, grab a couple of them and take them down there. So this is it. This is October 22nd. They can because they think they can. Virgil is a philosopher. These words describe the fellowship of our program. We gather together to see each other as sober and free. Alone, we can't imagine a life without alcohol and drugs. Together, we see and create a life free of alcohol and drugs. We borrow each other's minds in order to have new thoughts, ideas, and visions. We work to grow as spiritual beings. We exchange addictive logic for spiritual logic. We work to do the next right thing. Together we chase away doubts. Together we do for each other what we couldn't do for ourselves. We should ask ourselves, am I willing to stay close to the we of the program? Prayer for the day. Higher power, I pray that my thinking will include the voice of the fellowship and your voice. Help me to chase away doubt. Help me to stay close to the we of recovery. Today's action says actions because this is a simple program of action. Today, I will think about how the we of recovery has helped change my thinking.
I like that. I like all of that. And you know what?
Yeah.
The funny part is that how many times, I mean, again, not only you and I reading it every
Right.
year for me, at least 10 years, and you probably hell of a lot longer than that, or at least a couple years
12.
longer than that.
Yeah,
12.
right.
And then, yeah, and reading that on, Founders Day weekend,
Mhm.
we did Founders Day for, every year except for the last three, the last couple,
Right.
whatever it was. But,
Mhm.
yeah, and I don't remember any of it. It's
That's
none of,
that's why we have to keep reading it over and over again because we
I know.
fucking forget.
But so the first thing you said, they can because they think they can.
Mm-hmm.
I like that in a lot of different ways, and there's so much of this. I don't know. It's probably cliche that people say it all the time. The power of positive thinking. But you know what?
Mhm.
It's not. It's only cliche because people use it in a cliche way.
Right.
It is true. I mean, if we
Yeah.
sit there and I don't know, wallow in our negative thoughts all the time,
Mhm.
it's more than likely negative shit's going to happen to us.
Yeah.
And just because we're positive does not guarantee the positive things, but man,
Mhm.
it doesn't fucking hurt, does it?
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. It definitely helps.
Right. Because then the other thing too is that, doing the next right thing and the we of the program, those are the two other things that I wrote down, which two right things, two things that you and I talk about and mention all the time, just
Mm-hmm.
all the time, both of those
Right.
things. And, that goes along, in my opinion, with that positive thinking, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if you're positive and thinking that way and not getting all negative and just figuring, okay, keep moving forward, all those good things,
Right.
then yeah, I mean, shit's going to happen, hopefully one way or
Yeah.
the other. Again, sometimes quickly, sometimes slowly.
Absolutely. Right. Yeah. I mean, and faith is definitely a component of this thing, and that is faith. That is, it doesn't have to be some religious thing or any of that or spiritual or it's just that I do the next right thing and I have faith that the things are going to work out the right way, and they do.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we've made it pretty clear. And I know me, for instance, I always thought the worst, before I got
Oh
sober.
yeah.
I just the way he said that. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, literally, it was just that I don't know. I mean, probably manifesting some of these negative things, because we talked about that, either it
Absolutely.
was in a reading or something like that, where if you've got, again, all these negative things and you have no faith and everything like that, then you're
Mm-hmm.
not going to try, you're not going to do those next right things, and more than likely the bad shit's going to happen because you allowed it to.
Sure, absolutely, and in our fucked up thinking, we I'm just going to prepare for the worst because yeah, all that shit, Nah, man, I'm going to prepare for the best.
Right.
Fuck that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that I had mentioned, and I know we had talked about it, but I think it's worth repeating that with I do try to look now at, and I get it, live for today, live in the moment, one day at a time. I get all
Mm-hmm.
that, but there's certain things, and when we get to the job thing, I'll talk about in a minute. It kind of ties in with that, but
Mm-hmm.
I do try to look at that broad thing, figuring, okay, these are the steps I need to take if this is my plan, and
Right.
what's going to be the end result if this goes, if I do all the right things, all the next right
Mm-hmm.
things, it could go this way or that way. Am I prepared for that? So
Mm-hmm.
I kind
Sure.
of go that angle, but not thinking, well, fuck it, I'm just going to do this. I know it's not going to work. I think that might be part of the difference of, I try to
Mm-hmm.
plan ahead, but not
Sure.
plan on the negatives, I guess, hopefully, if that makes sense.
Right. And to a point, don't, trying to control it either.
Right.
Yes, I'm going to do what's supposed to happen, and hopefully it's going to faith again. It's going to turn out the right way. And you know what? It is going to turn out the right way. It might not be the way that we thought it was going to, but it is going to turn out the right way.
Right.
So, yeah, right. Yeah. And,
Okay.
and half the time it's fucking better than we thought anyway.
I would say probably more like 80% of the time it's better than
Yeah,
we
I
thought,
know.
right?
I was just trying to be generous.
But seriously, I mean, all the things, and I can't think of any examples, but I know that each one of us have probably a 1,000 examples since we've gotten sober, at least if not hundreds
Sure.
of them, where
Mm-hmm.
we're like, at the end of it, you're like, wow, I never thought that would work out that way, and it did.
Right.
Like, I don't know, something as simple as swiping right on Tinder, and then look what you ended up with. So
Yeah, exactly.
you're like, oh yeah, yeah. Just as a reminder for everyone, that's how Mike and his girlfriend Chris got together. It was
It
it was
is.
a positive Tinder story. So
It
yeah,
is. Yes, and this August it will be 8 years.
that's
So it does work.
right. Works if you work it. I heard, right?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Hey, I work
Hey,
it.
you knew that's what I was leading into. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you. Hi, Chris. How you doing? Hi.
Hi there.
Yeah, she's not actually here right now, but I think she'll
No,
listen to this and then hear it. So
she
good.
generally does. Yes,
I
she
know.
will. She's probably smiling quite largely right now.
I hope she's listening to it in the group too. Everyone's looking at her like, really? Yep, of course. Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I seriously, I like that. It just had a lot of things that clearly we talk about,
Right.
and from what Marty was saying. So that was one thing I don't think we had talked about. So when I was out here, shit, when was that? Was that 2 weeks ago or yeah, it
2 weeks
was
ago. Yeah, it's
yeah.
only 2 weeks.
So yeah, 2 weekends ago I was out here, and that's when we did the poker thing and whatever, and
Mm-hmm.
we ended up seeing Marty from the Keating Center, the guy who's the director there, and we talk about
Yep.
Marty all the time. And I think we briefly mentioned that last week when we had Matt on, but
Mm-hmm.
it sounds to me like the setup they have now is that pretty much all the guys that are in there, the halfway guys, have sponsors through the Keating
Mm-hmm.
Center, and they're all handled to take down the Founders Day, right? From what it sounds like.
Seems like it. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, God knows if he if he needed us to take a couple guys down, he would let us know.
Right, right. And the only thing he said to us on again 2 weeks ago was hey get in touch with me on the day of Founders Day and let me know where you guys
Right.
are going to be, because he said he's
Yeah.
only coming down for the meeting and get to hang out with him. So
Mm-hmm. Yep.
but yeah, that was fun. It was fun for for a lot of years, and that's our thing. And we had talked about it last year, but the whole point of Founders Day was that both of us were taking the first year. I mean, I sure as hell didn't want to go. I think you were more open,
Yeah.
to
No, I
going.
actually arranged to get down there.
That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah, I didn't. I
No,
didn't.
you did not.
But you know what? It was cool. It was weird, and I remember talking about it, saying that it was weird when we got down there because it felt so much like, and it is a party atmosphere, but
Yeah.
it's on the other level. You get even now. I mean, that first year we went, there was probably what 15,000 plus people, I think, and
Right.
I think they're averaging now probably what 10 or 12. Who knows what
Yeah.
it's going to be this year now that it well, last year it
Think
went on,
right.
but
It went
that
on, but it was kind of right. A lot of people didn't go, including us.
right.
Yeah, but I think this is like really kind of the first year where it's back in full swing.
Yeah, I mean everyone. Yeah, I mean the whole. I don't want to say that people still get COVID and all that stuff, but I think
Uh-huh.
the cautionary things are pretty well gone in a lot of cases, and it'd just be interesting. But even so, you figure that that at that time, that first year, and I remember them saying what the count was in the stadium, and it was like
Mm-hmm.
15,000 people, but
Right.
it's 15,000 sober people. Um, it's on a college campus. It's in a stadium. It's summertime. There's music
Mm-hmm.
playing. There's people fucking
Mm-hmm.
dancing. There's beach balls going around. I mean,
Yep.
people acting foolish,
Yep.
but in a good way,
Absolutely.
And
Yeah. Right.
I thought about it. I'm like, if you were flying over above this event and you could see all this stuff happening, there's no way
Mm-hmm.
in the world that anyone at a distance would think that everyone's sober.
Right.
No, but that's the cool part about it. So that first year, that kind of freaked me out a little bit. Just again having that feeling like being at a big fucking party. Um,
Yeah.
but since then, again with the exception of the last few years, but we hit it
Mm-hmm.
every year, and we were taking guys and always getting the picture in front of Dr. Bob's house, which we plan on doing again this
Right.
year.
Mm-hmm.
And because Kathy was even asking me this morning, so she's like, "Are we going to the meeting? Are we going to that big book thing again? Are we going to Dr. Bob's house?" So our sister's back because I think the last year that we went prior to the pandemic, that might have been
Mm-hmm.
when she was in. She didn't come the last time we
Right.
were there. You
Yeah.
know,
She went to Greece.
yeah, that's what I thought it was. Okay,
Yeah.
so she hasn't been. You got to figure now in what 5 years, something like that.
Yeah. Right.
But yeah, so our sister, who is the normie, she went
Mm-hmm.
with us consistently for years, and so she's back
Mm-hmm.
again, and she's excited about it,
Right.
which is fun. And did I tell you? I think I told you, but I asked her if she wanted to grab one of my sober not mature T-shirts, because I've got a few of them. Plus, I have the one I'm going to be wearing my 13. um,
It's
so
not
she's
just a step.
Yep, not just a step. But yeah, so then she brought her. She had bought a sober not mature sweatshirt, so she brought that. She's just all fucking into it, which is kind of cool. So yeah, but she's a fucking normie. But
Right.
it's fun. It's
But
a lot of
it's
fun.
fun. Yeah, exactly. That's it. It's a good time. You know. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Chris is coming down too. She's a normie as well, but
Right,
she's coming to hang out because it is a good time.
right. Yeah, because you said so. She's working on Sunday, but not tomorrow. Then,
Yeah.
thankfully, right? Oh,
Right.
okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah, and then we get to see a couple other people I know for sure, and I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be nice. It's supposed to be nice out too. It's funny that I looked at the weather, and you could see it was like no rain for almost like an entire week, and now there's a chance for rain on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I think
Right.
in
Yeah.
Akron, but tomorrow like 80 degrees and sunny, so
Yep.
it should be nice. God, there was you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
It was those couple years when it was like fucking
There was a couple of years where, there was thunderstorms and they like made us leave
right.
because there was lightning. There was lightning in the, and they didn't want us to get hit by lightning, so we had to go home.
Right, right. Yeah, it's like clear the stadium and everyone's up in the, by the concession areas and stuff like that. And it's
Mm-hmm.
pouring and lightning. Well, yeah, it's fucking metal benches, man.
Yep.
But yeah, well, the one year that we were there was like 95 degrees and fucking humid too. So,
Yep.
that was mildly uncomfortable. But
Yeah, but it's a good thing to be uncomfortable occasionally.
yeah, it was
I've
still
heard that somewhere.
right. It was still fun though. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm sure that I mean we'll definitely take pictures or and all that sort of stuff. We do have a guest next week, but the week after that, I believe it's just Mike and I. So more than
Right.
likely, we can do. We'll end up doing a recap on how Founders Day was and stuff like that 2 weeks from
Mm-hmm.
now. But one way or the other, I'm sure we'll definitely have some stories about it. So one way or the
So
other, it's
stay tuned.
yeah, stick around. Coming up on Sober Not Mature, more stories from Founders Day.
Right.
So do you want to kick into the step? Obviously June. We're at the middle of the month already, but we're almost at the
Right.
middle of the month. But so step 6. Do you have your book there?
No.
Sorry about that. I
how,
thought
many, how, how many books am I supposed to have?
I don't know. I thought you said all your books were right there. So
No, not all of my books. I just
aren't you at your book desk?
No, my bookshelf, my library is downstairs.
Oh, is that where your
Yeah.
readings are too?
What's that?
Is
No,
that
my
where?
readings are up here.
Not what?
No, my readings are in my nightstand.
Gotcha.
No. I mean I've got, I can go to June 1st here and read the step.
Let's go ahead and do
Maybe.
that. You're like,
Maybe.
maybe.
Hey, look at that. May 31st. Hey, June 1st. There it is. All right. The 6th step of Alcoholics Anonymous. We're entirely ready to have God move all these defects of character.
All right. So we talked about obviously when we did our 4th and 5th step. The 5th step was with the priest, and after that, so you went down, you sat by the lake, and I did the same thing. And because basically our sponsors told us that we were supposed to go down there and kind of ponder everything that we had done up to that point, and then
Right.
is there a prayer at the end of that 6th step thing too, where you're supposed to be? Or no, that is a 7th step prayer. Never mind.
That's a 7th step prayer.
Yeah, and that's the one. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry because I do that. That's the one I do every morning. So I should fucking know that.
Right.
But yeah, so the whole point, and with once again, when and I think that if anyone's listened to us long enough, clearly we're 12-step people. Clearly we went not only through all the steps that initial time, and those are usually the stories we're talking about, but there's all these different steps that we continue to incorporate in our lives on a daily basis, and steps 6 and 7. And I can tell my little story about what our sponsor told me the one time, what my thought was with it in a minute. But the whole point is that just realizing that whatever fucked up things that we just told this priest a few minutes ago, now we're supposed to sit back and be like, okay, we just told that person that, and God, to ourselves and to another human being, all those exact natures of our wrongs and blah blah blah, but now we're supposed to be ready to have all that shit taken away, and that happens immediately, right? For you, that's that what happened?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I'm a goddamn perfect person now.
Right.
No, I believe it was explained to me that 6 and 7 are an ongoing thing. But I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty damn sure that in the 12 and 12, the first line of the 6th step, and I should have grabbed it, but This is the step that separates the men from the boys.
And that says that in the 12 and 12?
In the 12 and 12. Yep.
Really? Okay.
Yep. This is the one where we need to get to work and we need to stop being such assholes.
Right.
I'm paraphrasing, of course.
Right. But it's the only reason I laugh is because that, because the thing of it is, and that, and just to, again, briefly tell the story about what I had said to our sponsors. So I had one sponsor, he ended up passing away. Had 17 or 18 years sober at the time, died of pancreatic cancer. Obviously sad story and all that stuff, but good dude, and lived a wonderful life and helped a lot of people. So he was just a good guy. He was a super good guy to be too. But he passed away. God, I'm trying to think. I was a year and a few months sober, something like that. A couple of years, I don't know, whatever it was. And then Joe, who is still here in Cleveland and, was your sponsor, my sponsor at the same time. And I remember because he knew my sponsor, Bill, and knew what the deal was. And I said, when this happens, because we were told, you need to have a sponsor. And especially at that time frame, I was freaking out. My sponsor's sick. He's going to die. What am I going to do? And I wasn't thinking about it, as a just about me type of thing. But I was truly nervous about trying to do this shit on my own, So, Joe was prepared for it when he finally got to the point where I knew he couldn't help me out. My first sponsor was too sick. He became my sponsor, and I was talking to him one time, and all this different stuff. I'm going through, and I'm telling him this whole story, especially when, I went through, my fourth and my fifth, and I'm like, I go down to the lake, and I'm doing this stuff, and I spent this time, and I made the mistake of saying that I worked 6 and 7, completed them, I think is probably what I said. I completed 6 and 7. And he said, he's like, no, you didn't. And I'm like, you just heard me tell you the lake story, right? I went this and and he's like,
I sat there for an hour. I'm done.
and seriously, and once again, I'm 41 years old. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but still, I've got a minor amount of intelligence. But I'm sitting here telling this dude that no, I'm done, man. I completed them, And then he's like, no, you didn't. I'm like, what are you talking about? And he says, when you understand what I'm talking about, come back and talk to me. And I'm like, fuck me. and it's exactly what you said, because we have to every single day. We have to be willing and ready to get all this shit, because this stuff just doesn't magically disappear, with an hour at Lake Erie.
Nope. I've been washed clean of my sins.
Right. Be gone with you, sins.
Right.
But
defects of character, man. Clearly we both have defects in our characters to this day. I'm thoroughly convinced I'm going to have defective character flaws when I graduate this program. But I'm trying to be better. I am. There's character defects that, of course I don't want to get rid of. The egoist in the other room there, he I'm sure he can agree with me. There's things about me that I know aren't all that great, but I maybe don't want to let go of them. But actually, even as much as I don't want to let go of them, I know that I have to. I know it's a slow process, and it is slow. That's not an excuse to hang on to things. It's just the way it is. I'm trying to be better. I'm trying, I have a temper sometimes. I know these things aren't good, but I am thoroughly willing to have them removed. I am. I wish that it would be, someone would wave a magic wand and they'd be gone. I do wish that, but I understand that it takes work. It takes daily work. It takes actions. It takes me trying to be a better person every day. And hopefully, by the time I'm done with all this, I will be much better than I am. Yeah, shit. But I am willing today to get rid of them. That doesn't mean that they're gone. It just means I'm willing to. I'm willing to do the work to get rid of them, and I realize that they're not going to go away overnight.
Right. Well, and
Yeah.
I think the most important thing, and you actually said the full sentence right there at the end, was willing to do the work, and that's.
Yep.
I think that's all that really matters. That's all that we need to do. Is granted, like you said, it'd be great. Snap of the fingers, tap of a wand, whatever it is. Somebody's just like booga booga. When your fucking defects are all gone, you're Mr. fucking wonderful now. But they're willing. We talk about the word willing all the time, but especially with this, we have to be. It's one thing to say, okay, I don't want to be an asshole anymore. That's one of my defects of character. I don't want to be an egotist. I don't want to look down on somebody. I don't want to, whatever the case is.
Sure.
I don't want to do
There's
all those
whole
things.
list of them. Right.
Right. There is a whole list of them.
We only have about an hour and a half. We don't have time to list them all.
Right. So it's great to be able to say that, hey, we're willing to get rid of those, but like you said, willing to do the work, Or do you hear that buzzing?
No.
Check your connection just to make sure.
Yeah. No, I don't hear anything.
Yeah, it's coming like when you're talking, it's coming on your end. Make sure your connections are cool on your computer. It's like
cool, man.
It's like a pulsating. That sounds gross, doesn't it?
Everything's hooked up. Yeah, it does. Is it throbbing?
Yeah, well, it is. It's almost like a staticky type of thing. Is your phone right there?
No, it's off to the side.
God damn, what the fuck is going on?
I don't know, man. Everything's hooked up the way it's always hooked up.
Yeah, because it is. It is definitely coming from. Now, does my voice sound fine?
Yeah, you sound. Well, I mean, sound normal. Let's not get carried away.
Yeah, but it is. It's coming. Yeah, it's coming from your side. Hang on one second. I'm gonna mute you real quick. Okay, hold on.
All right.
All right, I have Mike muted right now. Yep, it's on your end. I just unmuted you, and I'm getting it back again. Well, we could just sit here and give it a minute and see if it goes away. But
yeah, everything's hooked up. Everything, and I'm not hearing a thing.
Yeah, it's weird. It's actually as you're talking, it's just getting a I don't know, kind of like a weird buzzing type of thing. Well, you know what? Why don't we do this? We're at the 30-minute mark. We can finish talking about the step here in a minute. Let's take a quick break and see if we can figure this out, okay?
All right. Stay tuned for more of Sober Not Mature and more buzzing and throbbing after this word from our sponsor.
Hey everyone, it's your friends at Sober Not Mature.
Hi there.
And, yes, it's both of your friends this time. Hi Mike, how are you?
I'm well. How are you, Bill?
I am doing well, but we do have a purpose. We actually usually talk about our one website, but we actually have two websites now. So two websites in one. All right, so everyone knows we still have the podcast website that is www.SoberNotMature.com. And we just launched the store website, so we also have that. Do you know what the website address is on that one, Mike?
Of course I don't.
It's pretty easy, Mike. It's www.SoberNotMatureShop.com. So but from the podcast website, you can still hit the store link and get into the web store, or you can access it from our Instagram page through the highlights. We've been posting quite a bit about it, and we'll continue to do that. But do you know what's on the second website, Mike?
Well, there's a store. There are products that you can purchase for you and your loved ones.
Well, Mike, do we still have merchandise?
We have merchandise. Well, we got T-shirts and coffee mugs and all kinds of crap.
And one of the coolest parts, we also do have all the recovery books from Hazelden, which is kind of a big deal.
That is a big deal.
At least for us. So all the books that we read, God Grant Me, 24 Hours, the Big Book, the 12 and 12, all of those books are available for sale on our website. And
They
once
are.
again, that store website is www.sober.
Trying to help, man.
I know you are. You're not helping, though. Okay, now I got to say www.SoberNotMatureShop.com.
.com.
.com. Visit that today, or visit the podcast website, which is, again, the podcast website. So
www.SoberNotMature.com.
did you just say sober but not mature?
Yeah, sure. Write that down.
Yeah, like fucking mush mouth or something. All right, everyone, you've suffered enough with this, and we'll get back to what we were talking about previously. So visit the websites, though. All right, everyone, welcome back, and we are buzz free. Yeah, buzz free on many levels, but yeah, it was kind of weird. So yeah, it's not the first time that if anyone's listened for any amount of time, we've had technical difficulties again, but we just disconnected. Mike restarted. I started up a new studio, and once again, we are buzz free.
Right.
I feel like we're some fucking wacky morning show. You're joining us. We're Buzz Free FM.
Right.
All right. So, but back to step 6. So again, we decided, and we've learned, and we were told that these defects of character, don't just magically go away. That surprisingly enough, we have to put some work into it.
Right.
Our computer, our podcast just had a defective character. I wish that
did.
would go away.
Right. And it did.
Yeah,
we did some work and it went away.
Perfect example. An example in progress, right there. Right there.
Yeah. And I did run downstairs and grab my 12 and 12, and it is the first line of the 6th step. Yes.
Is it really?
This is the step that separates the men from the boys.
Nice.
Yep.
And I agree with that. I mean, wholeheartedly. They say that, and you had said, and the whole thing with the 5th step, first time that we actually not only sit down and do something with another human being, but also become a part of. And then we've got to say, okay, now we just admitted how much of big pieces of shit we are.
Right.
Are we willing to do something about that today? Which apparently we are, because we've I think like you said, we're far from perfect. I think anyone around us would agree with that.
Right. I get lots of people to sign that petition.
but hopefully better than yesterday, certainly better than we were, hopefully 13 years ago or 12 years ago or anything like that. So
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I mean, and I think that quite often, the 6th and 7th steps, because sort of the way they're presented initially, that, like you said, you go and you kind of meditate on them, and, an hour later they're over, quote unquote, like you thought.
Right.
Yeah, I think they're kind of overlooked a bit. People forget that, no, hey, asshole, you're still an asshole. You still need to work on those steps.
Right.
I mean, you do that, and then you make that list. We'll get to all those as the months progress, but you make that list, and then you start making the amends, and then and then you start you're doing your quote unquote maintenance steps, 10, 11, and 12. But I 6 and 7 are definitely maintenance steps as well.
Right.
Yep.
Well, and we've always said that. And it happened, once I'll just speak for myself. Once I realized that it was an ongoing thing, I started to really incorporate that. I don't sit down, and I do at the end of when I do my readings and I do my prayers, my wrap up is the 7-step prayer, and we'll get to that next month, but
right.
It's important, and I do that every single day now. And once again, I don't know how long I've been doing it, but even though it's we're not talking about the 7th right now, it's 6 and 7 easily intertwine and intermingle and are
sure.
Kind of mashed together. At least they're worked that within that hour. And if we're doing this thing right, they're worked on a daily basis together anyhow, so.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, it's I enjoy, it's like the 10 step. Let's go back to our favorite steps, right?
Mm-hmm.
um, I think the 10 step is great, but 6 and 7, they're, I think, hugely important.
Right.
And I don't, again, a favorite, wouldn't say favorite because it's hard to say that, but I value, let's say I value them,
Yeah, absolutely. Right. And again, the sixth on its own is, we're willing to have all this shit taken away from us. And willing, how do you do that? Again, do the work. So,
Right.
but we have to remain willing because, like I said, there's defects of character that I kind of like sometimes.
Right.
And I got to remember, no, you really don't like them that much. And even if you do like them too fucking bad, because they're not good for you. And they're definitely not good for the people around you.
Yeah, and even if that's the thing, even if we happen to think that all these bad behaviors are acceptable, they're certainly not acceptable to other people. They're like, really, you think that's okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's,
yeah, I do. As a matter of fact, I'm a dick.
Yeah, I was just going to be like, I was just going to go, but I think you put it better, far better than I did. So, but no, it's a good one. And I was, I knew we wanted to talk about, Founders Day and all that, but I figured we'd have an opportunity to talk about that today. And it's important. And I'm quite honestly, I'm glad that we started doing this with talking about the steps, even though, like we were talking about with Matt, and we've gone over and over and over it again. We're not those guys that are going to sit down and basically structure this podcast as a 12-step meeting. But
no.
I think it's important because the other thing, and the cool part, and Kathy's been the one that has been so open about it. And for anyone who doesn't know, again, I keep saying Kathy, that's our sister,
right?
Who's a normie, but she's said on several occasions that that just hearing about these steps and things that we talk about, she feels the need sometimes. She's like, oh, that'd be kind of a good thing to do. I've had other people say that too, that recognize the fact that these steps can be. They don't have to associate necessarily with a rigid 12-step program. They don't even have to necessarily associate with anything to do with any substance abuse. They could be used in everyday life. Yeah. They can be used in everyday life and be very effective for anyone.
Exactly. Well, I mean, right. The whole point of working the steps is to become a better person. And, if you're a better person, then you don't need to self-medicate yourself. Right.
Right.
Cover up all that shame and guilt from being a bad person. Right. Yeah. So, yeah, of course, anything that improves a human being works for all human beings. Again, we've said it so many times. We're not special. We're not unique. We're garden variety drunks. It's what we are. I happen to be one that did a whole lot of dope on top of it, but doesn't matter. Right. We're drunks, but yeah, again, anything that makes you a better human being works for all human beings.
Right. I agree. I concur. How's that?
Well, good. Yeah, you co-signed my bullshit. Yay!
I did. Yeah, it's actually some good shit. So,
right.
I think worth co-signing. So, there was something that came up on Instagram the other day that I don't remember what I had posted, but somebody had said something like that, and I had said I co-signed that, or I said thank you for co-signing my bullshit, or something like that. God, I wish for the life of me I could remember. But it came up just this week, and it made me laugh. So we can always find somebody to co-sign our bullshit.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right. So anything else on step 6 that you want to talk about? I mean, I think we covered it, but
I think we did. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Again, it's not a one-time thing. It's a daily thing. Set it over and over. 4, 5, and 8 we do once, and to the best of our ability. We don't ever have to do them again, which means the rest of the steps we have to work one day at a time for the rest of our lives. Okay.
Until the day we die.
That's right.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. It's a good thing, because seriously, I mean, if for anyone that's listening that either is going through these steps or is thinking about it, or whatever the case is, just completely 100% understand that well, two things. First thing, most importantly, this stuff does get easier, once you get used to doing it on a daily basis. But
Right.
I think more importantly is the fact that it's not that it gets easier; it just becomes a part of what you do, and
Yep.
you don't think about it anymore. You do these things, and like when you talk about doing like 1, 2, and 3 before you get out of bed, and I talk about doing those in my morning
Right.
stuff. I really have, if I have to sit back and think, that I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, that part is one, that part's two. I don't, I can't, as I'm doing it, I'm not like, I'm doing step one right
Right.
now.
I'm
And then
admitting I'm a drunk and I can't control myself.
and now I'm going to do step two. No, it doesn't happen that way.
No.
It's just part of,
Yeah.
so they're the steps seem and possibly are a little daunting to begin with, because it's
Sure.
new, and it's, like we always say, it makes us uncomfortable, and we don't want to be
Yep.
uncomfortable, but we don't want to change. But that first run through, it's work. It's a lot of work, but then the work that you do afterwards becomes a hell of a lot easier. So,
Right. Yeah. Right. The first time you try to curl a dumbbell, it's fucking hard. But the more you do it, the easier it gets. The stronger you get, and the better at it you get. And yeah, exactly. Practice makes perfect, baby.
Exactly. Cool. All right. So two job related things. One has nothing to do with me, but the second one does. So let's do the one that has nothing to do with me first. Did you hear that Kylie started her new job?
I heard that she was going to. I didn't know that she did.
She did. So our niece, so our sister's daughter, Kylie, who has joked for years that we've been labeled as her mentors for years, which is kind of fun and funny and all that stuff. But she's the one that graduated from Purdue a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Had an opportunity, and I'm not going to say the name of the company or anything like that, but
Right.
she ended up getting a job in the field that she was wanting to. And Kathy actually sent me a picture of her business card. So this was on her first day. So she started on Monday. Obviously, I'm sure it's a lot of introductory stuff and orientation stuff and all that. But apparently, she's enjoying the shit out of it so far. But her title now is Assistant Director of Wellbeing and Integrated Health.
Nice.
And it's at a facility. So she's the assistant director at this place, and it's something that a field that she wanted to get into, and she's doing the thing, and it's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it is. That's cool.
Yeah, and it just when she was home at Kathy's before she had the like the big interview, and then Kathy was helping her prepare, and we were talking about some different stuff, and I popped down to, of course, grab ice cream, and they're going over this stuff, and I forget what the questions were, what they were going over, and I said just beware the questions when I said just have something available when, because they're going to probably ask you what your greatest weakness is, which I think is a fucked up question. I hate it. These canned interview questions that people use, I've tried never to use them if I'm interviewing somebody. But, it's stupid. But so we were talking about shit like that, but she's super excited, but super nervous. And then during her graduation, when we were down there, she had thought that, I think they had already started they had contacted the majority of the references. Maybe they still had to contact, but she thought she was going to have like a second interview. But apparently they skipped this part of the process, and it was narrowed down to 2. And then she found out that, they chose her. So,
nice.
It's great, and, I just think about, obviously, my son got, right out of high school in with this company and did his schooling. He's got this. And now she went to a 4-year university, worked her ass off, and really did, struggled from time to time. And she admittedly struggled, because, college is hard.
Right.
But, she put in the time and put in the effort, and she was working part of the time over the last year. And, again, doing an internship to kind of prepare herself for what she's doing now, So, obviously I know I wanted to share that because I think she listens to this, from time to time, but, I know that we're both super proud of her, and it's just
absolutely
just fucking cool,
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
Yeah. So So our niece is starting her career, and I'm ending mine.
Nice segue.
I know. So the thing of it is that I've talked about it enough on here, like
You've
shit back
bitched about
from.
your job enough.
Oh, I have, and your exact words to me when I kind of told you what my plan was 2 weeks ago. You're like, it's about fucking time you get out of that place.
Yep.
And it wasn't worth it. And I'm not going to go over all the things of it, but on Monday, because I decided it's time. I've got some,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm not going to give specifics, but I've got some money set aside and I've got a plan in place. And basically, I figure that I can afford to take a few months. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on the web store a little bit more. I'm going to focus on this podcast. We're trying to grow some things with this.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been toying, with the idea and talked to Mike about this. God, that was almost probably a year ago, right?
Right.
With the whole sober coaching and stuff like that. I talked
Mm-hmm.
to some of our followers. I've got, of all people, my first ex-wife, her sister is in the counseling field. I talked to her a little bit, and I've got a couple other opportunities. And I don't know, it's the thing of it is, and I had talked about it while our mom was even still alive, and
Right.
it's the thing of it is, and what I told you, like, again, 2 weeks ago now, it's like that the job thing had to happen. And I've got a minor story to go along with when I gave my notice because it was kind of funny. But that's one thing, but clearly I'm not happy with it. But then I'm just kind of like, okay, so the reason I say 3 months is I know that I'm going to give it 2 solid months to see if any of these things are going to work. We're not going to give up the podcast. We can do this on the side. That's
Right.
that's not going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to give up the web store. That could stay there too. But we can just keep it as a sideline. Both of these things as a sideline, like they are. It's like the coaching part of it that would be the possible opportunity for me, but I'll know in 2 months if it'll work or not, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if it's not going to work, or if it's right on that cusp, I could stretch a little bit further if I need to. But my plan is that just knowing that, and I know I'm accountable for at a minimum two people. That's you and Kathy. Because I told both of you. Now I
Right.
told everyone on here, but nobody gives a fuck. There's nobody
Right.
listening to this that's going to tell me that I can't, that I have to stop at 2 months. But you guys are part of my conscience, and I need that.
Mm-hmm.
So at 2 months, I will sit down or talk to both of you guys and go, here's where it's at, and I'll get your opinion.
Yep.
And I'll take the either if I can't figure it out on my own. And it's not going to work out, and you guys tell me that, then I got 30 days or 45 days to find another job that I can do
Mm-hmm.
remote and still travel around like I want to do, and it's fine.
Yep.
But we talk about the part of this whole program thing is that not regretting the past and all that sort of stuff. And if I don't at least try,
Mm-hmm.
this I don't even want to say could be, this would be a regret.
Right. Exactly.
And I have the ability to do it, so why the fuck not?
There you go.
Just so everyone knows out there, I sat down with our sister,
Mm-hmm.
and I talked to her about it. I talked to Mike about it over the last year or so. We've kind of touched on some of these things, but I kind of gave you my whole plan, 2 weeks ago,
Right.
and so I didn't just do this on my own, and this is how.
Mm.
That's exactly. I was going to lead into that. Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Mm.
But that's what we were taught, and
Yeah.
and I wouldn't.
Absolutely.
These days, there's no fucking way in the world I would make a decision like this without the two of you guys, So,
Right.
but that's how I operate. And I don't even hope. I'm just, if anyone takes a lesson from that, I think it's a good one. I'm not saying anything towards me. I'm just saying that having people that you can go to and making yourself accountable to other
Mm.
people, I think is important. And to your point, you're not doing it alone, right?
Exactly. The we of the program, like in the reading, and like I've always said, man, I will always say, that first step that we have to do perfectly. The second part of that is our lives are unmanageable. Guess what? Our lives are always going to be unmanageable. We need other people to help us manage our lives. We need the program and the principles and all that stuff to help manage our lives. Because the way I run my life is shit.
Right.
Yep.
Well, and the other thing too is and I know I've got the discipline to to put the work in, and I can be anywhere and do the things that I want to do. All I need is an
Right.
internet connection, and like right now, I mean, and I'm not kidding. I mean, I just doing the little things that I do with, again, the podcast and the web store and all those sort of things. Which there's none of it. I've never complained about it. I talk about it just because it's part of my life.
Right.
But I have no issue with it. I love every part of it, and I do. I mean, sometimes like last night I was working on. Like I put together kind of like a logo, but I was doing some work on the store, and I was putting together this email that I sent out to all of our customers, like the store thing, the sales that we're doing. And I sit down after I eat, and I look up, and it's fucking 8 o'clock at night, and I'm like, son of a bitch,
Right.
which is fine. But then the same thing, I set myself, I cut myself off basically, and I'm like, fuck it. I just put away my computer and I sit down and I watch mindless TV for an hour or so to try to rest my brain.
Right.
But so the notice part was funny. I had told Kathy we were kind of leading into it in the last couple of weeks, and I said, okay, I want to do it on Monday. I said it'll be the end of a pay period. If I give my 2 weeks, and
Right.
this will fall, and all these different things, it just kind of fell into place. So I had just a basic resignation letter that I found online and printed it off, sent myself the email at work, and I had planned on doing it right away in the morning, just sending my boss an email and saying, hey, I want a few minutes of your time. I need to talk to you. All this different, we had system problems at work and this and that. It was just the morning got just blown up, right? And then so I had to wait to get through lunches and whatever, and then I sent him an email at, I don't know, probably 1:30, and he goes, well, give me a call at 4:30. So it got pushed off to the end of the day, which is fine. So I call him at 4:30, and he's like, yo, so what's up? And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna get right to it. And told him I was putting in my resignation. I said I'll send it to you now. Hit send. And I said, obviously I didn't want to just send you an email. I wanted to do this earlier today, but blah, 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 but I said, it just, basically it's, just time for me to move on. My last day will be on the 16th. And, I just wanted to sit down and obviously have the opportunity to talk to you about it.
Right.
And he's like, is, there a reason? And I said, and again, I everyone's heard all my bitching. I've had plenty of things. In a lot of what I bitched about on here, I've been open. I haven't just hid this stuff. I'm not a stewer, when it comes to that. I've intelligently and calmly put all this stuff down on emails and had conversations with him. So the majority of it, with the exception of calling him a fucker or whatever the hell I've called him, I didn't do that ever.
Right.
So I said, well, I said, honestly, it's time to move on. And he goes, can I ask where you're moving on to? And I said, I'm going to take a couple of months off and, spend time with my family and my kids and, figure out what I want to do. And he's like, okay. And then he asked me a couple like other questions, but he was kind of like hitting at the reason. It's like, oh no, is it anything that the company could have done? Or anything that we didn't do? And again, in my head, I'm like, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it, don't say it. And I said, well, let me put it this way. I said, I don't need necessarily to reiterate. I said, take a look back at all the emails. Remember all the conversations that you and I have had. The follow-up email that I sent you after my review. I said, all of my issues, I said, let me put it this way. I said, I've never been quiet. I've never held anything back. Anytime I've ever had an issue or a problem, I've presented it to you. And I said, now I just think it's time to move on. Basically saying, listen, motherfucker.
Right. I've told you over and over what the fucking problem is, and you've done nothing about it.
You what the problem is. Are you understanding the words that are coming out of my mouth? But then, yeah, it's even at the end of it, he's just like, it's like, okay, so But what's the reason? I said, reason for what? And he said, well, usually when people put in their notice or resign, they have a reason. And I said, well, I just explained that, kind of like, again, are you hearing the words?
Right. Well, let me put it to you this way. My boss is dense as fuck.
Yeah. So then this is how the phone call wraps up. 100% honest to God, the truth. He's like, okay, I appreciate the phone call.
Wow.
That was the end of it. And I'm just like, I'm like, okay, bye.
Right.
And guess how long that conversation took?
I'm thinking like maybe 3 or 4 minutes.
It was 5. It was 5.
Okay. Yeah.
So it's like the next day I sent him an email. I said, when are you gonna, talk to James, who's our assistant collection manager, the main guy that reports to me, and then Carrie, who's our operations manager. And he's like, I'm going to talk to them right away when Carrie gets in. She had a couple of appointments, so it would have been like noon or 1. I'm like, okay, cool. I said, I've got some ideas on, some things, as far as planning items for what you could do. He's like, send me the email. So basically what I did was drafted this whole, almost like everything I've been trying to put together for the last 2 years, I put in the email,
Right.
So he didn't tell him that day. He didn't tell Carrie until like 5:30 that night. Didn't tell James until like 4:30 the next day or 4 o'clock the next day. He didn't include the list. So James knew nothing on the list because I said James should be promoted to my position, and all this different stuff. And I'm like, what the fuck ever,
Right,
like, okay.
Right. Well, at least he's consistent.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just fucking. I mean, and that's it. I'm not going to go on anymore about this. It was just that the conversation. I was just kind of like the way it ended up was, yeah. Okay. Thanks for the phone call.
Right. Oof.
I know, and I've left companies before. The one that I worked at in Madison, I was doing this training program that we did. It was a leadership program trying to develop new people into leadership positions, and I was the one that did I was on the committee to build it, but also did the training for it. So I kind of headed up that training of that, and they rearranged. They used to do it one Thursday, the third Thursday of every month. When I gave notice, not only did I went to HR, gave my notice. I got calls from like 4 different managers within the company. I got a call from the president of the company. All of them asking me if there was anything they could do, if it's money, if it's this, it's that, what can I help? How can we help you? All of them wished me well once I told them what I was doing when I had left that company. Right. And then they said, Ken, do you mind? We want to kick up that program rather than the third Thursday to the second one, because we want you to finish up that program with your group. So they rearranged everyone's schedules to fit in for when I was leaving,
Nice.
And yeah, and that's what, that's how if somebody does a decent job, which I think I did, and it was just, I don't know. I didn't expect anything differently. I'm actually glad I had this story than a positive one. But yeah, so I don't know. I mean, you guys whoever's listening, you're going to see more. We're going to be doing some more stuff. I don't know exactly. Mike and I have talked about a few different things with the podcast. We've talked about some opportunities with the web store, and we'll have an opportunity to maybe talk about this coaching thing. And it's not going to be directly. Not something we're going to like build into the podcast or build into what we're doing now. It'd be a separate thing, but obviously it's kind of an all-in-one thing, but there will be a separation. One's one way or the other. People are going to hear about it, I suppose.
Yep, I'm sure they will.
Yeah. But it was just kind of
you're going
to
be talking about it.
Yeah, I know, but it's exciting, and I think it's a cool opportunity, and one way or the other, and I was 100% honest with you when I was here 2 weeks ago, and I said I'm excited. But do you remember what I said after that?
Yeah, a little scared though.
Oh yeah, I am, and it's okay to. It's okay. Well, I think it's. I was going to say critical, not critical. I think it's important for me to be a little. There's nothing wrong with being nervous about it, being a little scared about it.
Right.
If it didn't make any difference to me, I probably wouldn't be. Right.
Yeah. Right. It shows you care, and one of my favorite readings out of that book is fear is a sign for us to get busy.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, hell, real quick, while we're talking job stuff, my girlfriend Chris, who we've talked about plenty on here, she was a guest way back when, whatever episode that was. Yeah, she got a new job as well. She's working for
Yeah.
a small city here in the Cleveland area. She's been a surgical assistant in a veterinary hospital for the past 5 years or so. And kind of a lot of the stuff you were talking about, she had been going through. So I've been getting it from both sides, from Bill and Chris. You know, but
we've been double teaming you.
Yeah, exactly. But that's okay. That's what I'm here for, to be supportive and to listen to people bitch about the fucked up things in their lives. Yeah, and same, a lot of the same sort of reactions and whatever. Anyway, she put her notice in. She starts on Monday. She's going to be helping in the building department, issuing permits and stuff like that. She did that for a long time in another town here in the Cleveland area. She wanted to get back into it. She's wanted to for a while, and she did. So congratulations to Chris.
Yeah, absolutely. That's cool because I knew that that she had been pursuing a different position. That I knew, and I found out when I was here again. I still can't believe it's only been fucking 2 weeks ago. But when I was here last time. But so 2 weeks ago is when I found out that she hadn't. That the other one fell through, but I knew she was trying to work on something else. So I mean, yeah, it's fucking wonderful. It's wonderful.
So it happened. So she gets to go, and she has a new adventure as well. And I'm just going to keep driving a truck till I drop dead.
Yeah, but you know what? The people you work for, and I think back to, and it was not this time because Kathy was in the car with me, but I tell you, I listen to Mom's episode every once in a while. And I think I'm gonna, I figured it out. I don't know how many times I've listened to it now, but I'm gonna listen to it until it just makes me smile rather than hurt.
Right.
But in there we were talking about the either that one or the next one when you were talking about the fact that your company paid you bereavement pay, which I thought I'm like I was. But the thing of it is, and same thing. Kimmy's company, my daughter, that company's just wonderful to her.
Right.
And the company you work for has been, I feel like they've been good to you from what you said. And then
definitely.
Yeah, you just take things like that, and I mean, again, she was your mom, but not on paper, But they were like, bereavement pay, that's go do what you got to do, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's very much their family and all that good stuff. Which a lot of companies do. It's they blow smoke at you, but these guys actually back it up. So yeah, it's a good company. I like them. Today, I sent a message to my fleet leader. I said, "Hey man, I got people coming in. I got family coming into town. Don't throw anything extra on me today. So I did what I had to do, and I got done a little early. And he sent right back, yeah, no problem. Cool, have a good time. Yeah."
Yeah.
I didn't tell them I was going to go spend it with 10,000 drunks, but they don't need to know that.
Right. Well, and that's that's the way the thing should be, And
exactly.
The thing of it is that in a general sense, and not necessarily, let's take away everyone's specific job, and just from in general, what we were taught, and this I'm glad this takes a whole spin back to surprisingly enough this whole sobriety thing, right? You fucking know I love it when you do that. It's just whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, you just
right.
But we are as a group, people who are sober, and it doesn't even matter whether you want to call yourself an alcoholic or whatever label you want to put on yourself. People who are no longer drinking alcohol in a problematic way or anything like that, are some of the most productive people in society, some of the most driven people. Supposedly we have, some of the greatest earning power. I have yet to maybe grab onto that part completely.
Yeah,
it's okay though.
I'm still waiting for that one too.
and it's okay to begin with. I was probably a little bit more resentful in the beginning part but at this point, I don't. We've talked about it. I don't give a fuck as much about money anymore. But we actually get we get all this praise in not an egotistical way, but you figure that when we do all this hard work, all these good things happen
Mhm.
to us, right? And
Right.
in everything that we do, and that should be the way that it would work, in society, in a real job, right?
Sure.
You put forth this work and you put forth this effort, you show up every day,
Uh-huh.
everything that you talk about, and then to be able to get that, oh yeah, go enjoy yourself, do what you got to do, because
Mhm.
those individuals fucking know in their head, they're like, okay, this dude does his job well every time, never calls in,
Right.
this and that, blah blah blah, all this
Right.
different stuff.
Right.
Somebody's keeping track of that. They're keeping
Mhm.
score,
Mhm.
and it's fine because
Yep.
what they're doing is they're keeping score, and they're like, this dude is it's a highlight film over here, and I don't mean that in a fucked up way, but
Right.
it's that, oh, here's all his highlights. Yeah, let's breeze him off a couple hours. He could do this. It's not a big deal.
Right.
You know,
Exactly. Yeah.
that's how it should be.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's a damn shame that it's not everywhere.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
because they're fucking, people think they're cutting corners to make, again, Ben Franklin, one of my favorite guys in the world, man. Penny wise, pound foolish.
Right.
Yeah, they're saving a penny, but they're losing fucking in the end because they're idiots.
Right. Right. Well,
Yeah.
there's did you see the post of the our follower with the coffee mug this week?
Yeah. I
Yeah,
did.
like yesterday or the day before, and then
Yeah.
there was
Right.
another person. I don't do it for everyone, but I'm more than willing to. The reason I run these sales and things like this, and I'm just 100% honest, we're not making any money right now
Mm-hmm.
on anything.
Right.
you know, in the overall scheme of things, we're not making any money.
Right.
And it's not even with the like taking all the costs or whatever, even taking away that. But the whole point is that, and I was talking to somebody that was starting up or asking some questions about starting up a store
Mm-hmm.
and looking at it in the short term, again, like that 3 month to maybe even 6 months range. And I said, okay, so here's the deal. So we've been doing the store since January 19th. So coming up on what, 5 months? No, five.
Mm-hmm. 6.
January, yeah, 6 months, coming up on 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Let
But
me count on
so
my
basically,
toes.
I know for a minute there, I'm like, what fucking month is it? No, we're coming up on five. So June 19th will be 5 months.
Okay.
So and it's fine. We've made traction. I look at the number of orders. I look at the traffic and all this stuff. Things
Mm-hmm.
have to be worked on, but we're making traction. But the
Mm-hmm.
thing of it is, and I went into this with the mindset that of this 1 year thing. And you and I talked about that, and I know I talked to Kathy about it. We paid up front for a lot of things. We
Mm-hmm.
paid up front for the store and a couple of other items and things like that for 1 year, figuring that same deal. We'll know within a year of it. If shit isn't working in a year,
All right.
then some decisions have to be made. But
Mm-hmm.
to part of what we're doing is same thing as when we're trying to get people with podcast advertisers. Um, we offer to do things for free, and we talk about people for free and all those different things because
Mm-hmm.
we know in the end, someday at some point, people may want to help support us by
Right.
actually getting their product supported. Same
Mm-hmm.
deal. So we do giveaways, we do all these different things, and I'm never shy with people. I'm like, okay, here's what I'm going to do. All I
Mm-hmm.
want you to do is do me a favor. Post a picture with your mug or your t-shirt or
Right.
whatever it is that you bought. Put your bag in front of your smiley face bag. No, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Let me step back. Let me step back. Gentlemen, do
Do you
not
have
put your
Don't put your bag.
please don't put your bag in front of
Now,
anyone's faces.
ladies, you can put your bags anywhere you want.
Yes. Ladies, you can you're, you're, you're
Oh, God, wait, what was that sixth step again?
defects of character. Yes,
Ah.
ladies. Yes, ladies in your fun bags. Anyhow, let me step back. If you buy coffee from us,
Mhm.
you can take your bag of coffee, put it next to your face, and take a picture of it.
Mhm.
And I haven't been shy about that. We're looking for people to promote us, and
Right.
that's how we grow. And
Yep.
if it means throwing some stuff out there and losing some money, and it's not considered a loss in my mind. But
Mhm.
like you say, exactly, it's people don't think about that. I mean, you do. You got to spend some money to make some money. You got to do some
Mhm.
things. You got to make some. If somebody's doing what they're supposed to do as an employee, reward them.
Exactly. Yeah. Gee, make people happy. Where have I heard that?
Right. And the thing of it is, it's not like your boss said, here, you've been doing such a great job. Here's another $100. He just said, yeah, I'm not
Mm.
going to throw any more shit on you,
Right.
today.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Go do what you want to do, man.
Hmm. Exactly.
Yeah.
You
And that
know.
made you
Yeah.
happy. I mean, it's
I did. Right. Yeah. I could have worked more and made more money, but I came home and cleaned the house and washed sheets and made some things nice for some other people.
right. Again, something we've heard someplace before, right?
Exactly.
All right. So I think we got all the jobs. Let's see. Kylie
Mhm.
started a new job. Chris is starting a new job. I'm going to be a lazy fuck. Okay, got it.
You're an unemployed bum.
Unemployed something, right? Are you still there? Did I lose you again? All right, we're going to pause again here.
There we are.
Oh yeah, I was going to say, yeah, the funny part is when you cut off at the perfect moment. You said you're going to be an unemployed, and then almost like you stopped. Like
Ah.
fill in a blank. But
well, no, I said bum, but all right.
yeah, no, yeah, I didn't hear it. It probably showed up on the recording, so
Probably.
it just on my end it actually turned out perfectly. But
nice.
All right. So anyhow, we're over all done on the job stuff. So I got more stuff here. We got more time. So let's roll on. We do. So speaking of readings from before, there was one. I don't remember if this is this week or not, but God, is this one? Did I talk about solving problems is simply accepting them? Did we talk about that?
No, we did not.
Okay. So I'm like, fuck, did I forget to... Anyhow, okay. So from Keep It Simple, I don't remember if it was this week. You may remember more than I. It says
I
this was... right. I'm pretty sure that, this had to be the action in Keep It Simple. Once again, one of the readings that Mike and I do. I will make a list of all the problems I have and try to solve them. And it says sometimes solving the problems is simply accepting them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and when I read that, and I just kind of breezed over to begin with, and I'm like, And I thought, like, that kind of is a little bit of a thinker. So is it? Does it solve the problem? I mean, making a list of problems, I mean, obviously, clearly that's easy, but sometimes solving the problem is simply accepting them. Your thoughts, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, that could go two ways. We can, I'm going to relate this to alcoholism. Imagine that.
Good.
Right. So, yes, I realized I had a problem, and I accepted that I had a problem. And then I had two ways to go. For a very long time, I accepted that I had a problem and continued to drink. And then I truly accepted the problem and wanted to solve it. So I had to do something. I don't know, man. On the surface, it seems like that's kind of stupid.
Right. I mean,
yeah, right. But I understand. I think where they're coming from with it is, sometimes you can't solve every problem. Certainly, it's serenity prayer shit.
Right.
Wisdom to know the difference. Change the things I can. Accept the things I can't, and fucking move on with the shit. I'm paraphrasing. That is not the serenity prayer.
that's the new version.
Yeah, but yeah, so coming from that angle, I understand it. But yeah, okay, there's a problem. Is there something I can do about it, or isn't there? Either way, I have to accept that it's a problem. Can I solve that problem, or can I not? And if I can't, then I got to fucking just let it go. And if I can, then I got to get my ass busy and do something about it. Wisdom. And I don't always have that wisdom, but I'm working on it.
Well, and seriously, when I read it, and we've talked about it a 1,000 times, it seems like, but so many of the times when I do my readings, I do, and I take in the information, and I know it's helping me, and I don't deny that part of it, but
Sure.
I may not always. I don't know. I don't contemplate every word that I read
Mm-hmm.
completely. I don't sit there and study it and then analyze it, whatever. But it's
Mm-hmm.
just every once in a while, and this one just kind of caught my eye, and I was just like, so, like you said, did you say it's kind of fucked up?
Yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
it's stupid, I think, is what I
yeah.
said.
You
But
might have
yeah,
said stupid, but okay, sorry. That's actually more funny than saying it's fucked up.
yeah,
This is
right.
stupid.
It's stupid.
But so the only thing I could think about is like when you were explaining that is like if you end up with an illness that's incurable, that you just
Mm-hmm.
have to deal with, like
Mm-hmm.
alcoholism, I guess. But
Right.
uh, there it is again. Fucking, I just fucking love that. But same deal, sometimes now there's two things that if it was, I don't know, any type of illness or any type of thing you come across, there's certain things you could do. Let's go back to our positive mental attitude thing, right?
Right.
Regardless of what your lot in life is, if you can't, maybe you can't change it for whatever reason, but you need to
Mm-hmm.
learn to live with it, which comes
Mm-hmm.
along with that acceptance. So on that level,
Sure.
I get it. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily make the problem go away.
Right.
Sometimes solving the problem, and I guess that's if we read this again, sometimes solving the problems is simply accepting them. So it's not saying eliminating them, it is saying solving
Mm-hmm.
them. So
Right.
maybe that's the better part of it. Now I'm down here. Wait, solving, getting rid of. Sitting there fucking analyzing a word solving.
Right.
It's kind of stupid. No, but like you said, though, I mean, I understand that the more that we talked about it, which I guess is the point, that yeah, you
Mm-hmm.
can't necessarily fix everything, but
Right.
if you have the right attitude and right mentality, that
Right.
you can still have a livable life and make your life worth living,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah, the problem is there, but you accept the fact that the problem's there, and you're not beating your head against the wall, which doesn't feel good.
Right.
So, right, yeah, just accepting the fact that okay, yeah, I mean, there's all sorts of problems that I just accept, and yeah, there they are, and I don't let them ruin my life. I don't let them run my life. They're there. Okay,
Right.
yeah, moving on.
Yeah. Well, and again, we talk about acceptance and surrender and all those sort of things. So
Yep.
sometimes you have to surrender to the fact that it is what it is, and accept that. So
Mm-hmm.
all right. So yeah, like I said, that was
Problem
I still
solved.
like. Right. Yeah, we talked about it. If nothing else, a mild confusion was solved, right?
Yeah, right. That helps.
Right. Okay, so looking at the time here, let's just do a mindless one. And I got a question for you, and then I've got a story. I wrote this. I this one you're going to be like, where did you come up with this one or remember it from? So did you ever have a when you were drunk? Did you ever get up and like go to the bathroom someplace that you shouldn't have, and then realize you were after the fact? Like in a minor blackout or anything like that, like
I mean,
inadvertently just
I was told I did. I don't remember it. Yeah, I'll get up and take a piss in the closet. Sure, of course.
okay. Okay, so I'm not the only one, but this is
Hmm.
in for the fucking life of me, I don't I seriously I should have wrote down the how I even thought about this, but this is when Pam and I split up. Okay, so when
Hmm.
this is like, I mean, years and years ago, like 90, we split up in 94, and I
Okay.
lived in this little one bedroom upper of a house, and clearly I was whatever I was doing, but I had gotten fucking loaded one night,
Hmm.
and where my bedroom was, and again, one bedroom, so you walk in, kind of living room, kitchen, and then the bathroom was through the bedroom, just a small bathroom. And as you
Hmm.
walked in, it was just a small sink, toilet, and then a stand-up shower. A very small bathroom.
Right.
Even if you took away the area in your bathroom upstairs here, like the tub area,
Right.
it might have been that big. Okay,
Okay.
so just so you know, size wise.
Hmm.
So I, I again woke up clearly at that point in a blackout,
Hmm.
and again the toilet is again small sink with a drawer, okay,
Hmm.
and then the toilet.
Hmm.
So I literally I come to, and I'm just standing at the sink peeing in my drawer,
Nice. Well, it's
and
better than being in your drawers.
yeah, I know, but I'm sitting there and I'm like, I again, I was going to say woke up, but I know that's a come to moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the fuck? Now here's the only good thing. I don't remember what was in that drawer, but I know my toothbrush was not. But I remember, I mean, I'm fucking loaded in this thing, and now I've a small drawer too. I just fucking loaded it up. I'm like, God damn it! So I had to take the drawer out, and the drawer was
And
well
dump
built.
it.
Yeah, and dump. I had to dump
Apparently.
it. I dumped it in the shower, but it was well built because it's not like it dripped all over the place. It was just in the
Mm-hmm.
fucking drawer. And I remember
Nice.
just dumping in the shower and just kind of turned it over and just fucking went and passed out in bed again. But
Yeah.
yeah.
All
So
right. Yeah.
I figured that probably happened with you at one time, but that was just I
Mm-hmm.
figured that was only a couple minute story, and I was just when I thought about it, I was kind of shaking my head, but I'm like, you know what? Let's just bring that up on the podcast. Why not? We talked about fucking everything else. Now we talked about me
Right.
pissing in a drawer. And you
Right.
said a closet. You said you pissed in a
Yeah.
closet.
Yeah. I was living in Hollywood with my ex-wife. We weren't married yet, and drunk. Got up out of bed, walked to it was a small apartment, 1-bedroom apartment. Had like a dining room. It's a nice little apartment. Actually, John Stamos lived in it before we did.
Really?
Yeah. But
Uncle
anyway,
Jesse, no shit.
Uncle Jesse, yeah. He was when he was still on General Hospital.
Oh shit, long time ago.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then he got the Full House thing and moved out of that apartment and got a house or something. But anyway, right. So, but yeah, got up and the bathroom was like, it was the bedroom, then there was a little hallway, and then there was the bathroom across from it, and then to the left was a closet. And instead of going forward into the bathroom, I made a left. And yep. And and then that's when Kathleen said, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm taking a leak." She said, "You're in the closet." I said, "Oh." I think I finished up and went back to bed.
And you don't remember it though?
Not really. No. I remember her, the next day. Do you know what you did last night? No. Drank. You pissed in the closet. Oh, well, sorry, I guess. I don't know.
Right. I just think that you pissed in John Stamos's closet. I just think that's funny.
Sure. I did a lot of things in John Stamos's. Yeah, anyway.
Filled up more than just a house, right? Hello.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we're done. I'm looking at not that it matters on timing, but I'm trying to again. I've got other things on here, but I think we're good. Yeah,
I think so.
We're an hour behind. I'm looking at. I'm like, how the fuck can it be quarter to 10? But I keep forgetting that we're in Cleveland time. So
we're in real time, baby.
We are real time.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. Well, I think we're good. So I think I believe it's your turn for you to do what you do, man.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for listening to this nonsense. Another episode of Sober Not Mature. As always, be kind to each other. Be good to each other. Do something nice for somebody else this week. If you liked what you heard, share it. Give us a rating. Give us, the 5 stars, all that good stuff. Move this little thing along. And now it is time. It's time for you to fuck off. Then keep fucking off. Keep fucking off until you get to a gate with a sign on it saying you cannot fuck off past here. Climb over that gate, dream the impossible dream, and keep fucking off forever.
I like the fact listening to this nonsense. It's just, you know what, it's every once in a while it's just fucking truth and advertising, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I keep bringing this up every once in a while, but in listening to some of these other podcasts, especially the the women that do podcasts, they end off to like, I'm so happy that you joined me today, keep doing this, live your best life, all this stuff. Which again, I'm not making fun of them for doing it. It's just that I laugh because I think of how we just again close it out. Fuck off and keep fucking off.
Fuck off.
Keep fuck. Yeah. And hope you enjoy this nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It's just fucking fun.
Make sure you keep fucking off until next week when you can come off and fuck with us again.
Yeah, and we have a guest next week. So Coach Dave is going to be on with us next week. So we'll start promoting him as of Monday. But I think that'll be a good conversation. He's got some decent time, and I think it sounds like a good story. So
that'll be good. All right, man. We got to go hang out with some drunks tomorrow.
Right. All right, brother. I love you, and I will
love you too.
Literally talk to you in minutes.
You will. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
As always, thank you for listening to another episode of Sober, Not Mature. To access all of our content and interact with us, please visit our website, SoberNotMature.com. Thank you again for listening, and we will talk to you soon.